Betting on sports can be hard, but hiring Morgan & Morgan is easy. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They have over 100 offices nationwide and more than 1,000 lawyers. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/bestbets or dial pound law, pound 529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/bestbets. This is a paid advertisement.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Big day today, Paulie, with the Ponies. Opening day, Santa Anita. Jeff Siegel, the man, the myth, the legend, joins the program now with First Bet, and he is on the Progressive guest line to give out some best bets today. Jeff, good afternoon. Thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing today?
Doing really well.
Good, sir.
Let's begin with this. As it is opening day at Santa Anita, how special is opening day to you? How many times have you been there for opening day overall? And where does this track rank in your mind?
Well, let's see. All right, let's start off with the first question. I don't remember ever missing one, and I know that my first day at Santa Anita was in 1959. So whatever that adds up to, that's what I've been. I started going here when I was like 8 years old, and my dad used to take me, and then I started working at the racetrack right around 1974, right in that area. So, and I don't remember missing any unless I was sick, which I don't remember. So, I don't know, 60 some odd, more than that, I guess, 65.
That's incredible.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't live too far, so I can't use traffic as an excuse. So I'm working.
Good for you. What a life. Living the dream and your favorite track.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It is.
Yeah. How about let's get some winners here, and you're the best at it. Let's go to the 8th race with Malibu, the Malibu race. Break it down for us, please.
Well, this race changed a little bit because Ben Tornado, who was going to be the lone speed in the race, he was second in the Breeders' Cup Sprint last time out. He was scratched. So the whole complexion of the race changes, and that's favorable for number 8, Raging Torrent, who's now the lone speed. And he might be able to outrun the Kentucky Derby winner, Mystic Dan, who was making his first start since finishing unplaced in the Belmont. Now, originally, when I handicapped this race, I said, okay, there's plenty of speed in the race to set it up for a closer. And that's Mystic Dan, who arrived from New Orleans, where he just vanned in for the race. And this, again, first start for him in many, many months for him. But he looks great. But on the other hand, now the race shape changes. So I was prepared to tell you Mystic Dan, but now with Ben Tornado out of the race, I'm wondering if Raging Torrent gets loose on the lead and then rolls all the way to the wire. And I'm not sure what's going to happen, but you can use them both in an exacta box one way or the other. I think those are the two, and it's just a matter of how much pressure, if any, Raging Torrent's going to get early. If he doesn't get any, he could be gone. But Mystic Dan looks great. I saw him in the morning a couple of days ago, and I'm expecting him to return to his Derby form. Even though this race is 7 furlongs, not a mile and a quarter, he still might have the class to get up. So it's a tough call, but a good race.
Okay, and then potentially here 6 and the 8 in the exacta, like you said. Our buddy Mike Somich was making a case for Senior Officer, the number 4 in this race. That horse also scratched. Did you have a high opinion on that horse or no?
Yeah, no, I liked him, and he's another one that he would have been, right in the middle somewhere. So Senior Officer was definitely going to be a contender, but he scratched as well. So we had a great race, the final Grade 1 of the year for 3-year-olds. These horses will turn and face older horses after the first of the year. This would have been one of the best Malibus I've seen in many, many years. It's still a good race. Anytime you have the Derby winner in it, you got a good race, but it would have been a little bit more competitive, I think, and it would have taken a little bit more a little deeper than I've given you in terms of the handicapping, because I think the two that remain in the race are pretty good. But you add Senior Officer in there and Ben Tornado, now you got yourself a Malibu for the ages.
Okay, how about the Oaks and race number 11, please?
Well, we got a filly named She Feels Pretty, who comes off a Grade 1 win at Keeneland back in October. She was magnificent in that day. She's won 4 out of 7, but she's never been better. I saw her breeze on the dirt the other day here out in the morning, and she looked fantastic. So even though she hasn't run since October, She Feels Pretty should outclass this field. Again, probably a short price, and she's going to have to go a mile and a quarter, which she hasn't done yet, but I don't think that's going to be a bother. There's one other filly in the race that's really, really good, though. Her name is Catherine and Marissa, and I think she's I don't know if she's good enough to beat She Feels Pretty, but she's certainly good enough to beat everybody else, and that's my exact box here in the 11th race, 8-4-4-8-8. She Feels Pretty for Catherine and Marissa. She's getting better with every start. She will go 1.25 miles, and she's going to give the favorite a run for her money. That said, She Feels Pretty has got a little bit better resume, so I think she deserves top billing, but those two fillies are head and shoulders above the rest.
Okay, that's the 8 and the 11. A bunch of other races still to come at Santa Anita today. Any other race in between, 6, 7, 9, 10 that are still coming up here, Jeff, that you really, really like?
Well, yeah, I mean, we got a race called the San Gabriel in the 7th race, but that's going to be a real short price in Johannes. He's 6 for 6 at Santa Anita. There is absolutely no reason to pick against him. So I think he'll win. But again, he's probably going to be odds on. As far as some of the other races are concerned, they're a little bit more wide open. We have a race coming up as the 7th. The 8th race. Let's see. Let me turn my page here. Hopefully I get that to you. Let's see what we got here. Hang on just for a second. I'm doing this one-handed, so just bear with me for a minute.
Yeah, no problem. The 8 is the Malibu, so I think it must be the 9 or the 10.
I got it. Okay. The 8th race the 9th race is a good race. That is a race that's called the La Brea. And we've got a filly in here who is really good, and her name is Hope Road. Now, she was not trained by Bob Baffert last year. She was okay, not great. This year, she is a perfect 4 for 4 after being switched to Baffert's barn. I think she's really solid. Again, there's been a couple of scratches in there, so that she was 3-1 in the morning line. I don't know if she'll be that, but I like her outside draw. A couple of speed horses scratched. I think she'll dominate. I think she'll go from 4 for 4 to 5 for 5 since joining the Baffert barn. Her mother, by the way, won the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint a number of years ago, so there's a lot of class in the pedigree. So I do think she's going to continue her winning ways. Her name is Hope Road. She is number 9 in the program.
Very good. And that's race number 10. Jeff, you're the best. Thanks so much for the time today. Hope you had a great Christmas and happy holidays, okay?
I did, and same to you guys. Have a happy New Year as well.
Back at you.
Thank you, sir. All right, opening day, Santa Anita. Right now, sign up firstbet.com. Promo code VSIN200. Get a 20% rebate on your bets for the first 60 days up to $200. Don't miss out on all the action. Firstbet.com, promo code VSIN200. Go get him today. Good luck, and good luck, Mr. Siegel.
Okay, that's probably the most impressive thing that we're going to hear all day today. He's been to every opening day at Santa Anita since 1959. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
Hell of a life.
Okay, so now, tonight, 20 more people are on the Seattle Seahawks in Circus Survivor. One person was on Houston yesterday.
Can you believe that? That's terrible. Not the pick. It's just how you can't even sweat it. Once they got the goal line stand, the game was over. 17-2.
You can't score a touchdown in the game.
Yeah,
the entire game is garbage time, and you can't get one across. You scored a safety, and that's it.
Yeah. Same for the 4 people on the Steelers. You're never in the game after the second quarter.
Oh, it's over with.
Just a tough way to go out. Condolences.
So 11 got by with the Ravens. Never a sweat. 20 on the Seahawks, like I said. That's 44.4% of the remaining pool, at least before yesterday. 6 teams on Chicago.
Yes, and one of them, David Baker, former Westgate winner, poker pro on this network all the time. He's on the pregame with us at 4:30, 7:30 Eastern. Can't wait to talk to him. He'll break it down, why they decided to do it, and math and poker and all that. But they've lost 9 in a row. So interested to see his strategy. The other great thing, and I got this from Chris Massaro, Crackman says CP Picks, who's the only person with 2 left, used both on Seattle. They were the people. CP were the person that bought Scott Tribuco's entry. Tribuco only had the Bears left. That was the person on Survivor Sweat that paid $130,000 for Scott Tribuco's entry. They are guaranteed to move to next week.
Okay,
till Sunday, rather.
That move right there is an A+.
Concur.
I had no idea it was CP3 until you told me.
That's what Crack said, yeah.
Not CP3, yeah. CP Sports.
CP Picks, whatever.
Yeah.
CP Picks.
Yeah, CP Picks, yeah.
CP3PO.
As soon as you told me that, my reaction was, I absolutely love that they did that. It's brilliant, in my opinion. That's my gut reaction, and I'm not going to change from that. Mm-hmm. So now they're good to go moving forward here. Yeah. And by the way, so here's the thing. Would you rather have, if you're them, would you rather have you get by with 2 tonight on Seattle, and you're going to have, at that point, 34 left? Mm-hmm. Or would you rather have Scotty's ticket that they bought with the Bears on it, And because that way you're going to wipe away your 2 tickets on Seattle, but also 18 other people, and you're going to be down to, 19 people? 20 people. 20 people at that point.
If you have the Colts available and you use the Colts against the Giants Sunday, and then away you go. But that would, either way, they're in a great spot. And Paul Bovey was one of the 3 on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So he moves across. And I'll tell you, looking at it, though, it's going to be hard to navigate Week 18. What if the Chargers win? What if the Rams win? They have nothing to play for. They're sitting people. There are some tough games out there.
Yeah.
Week 18, it's going to be tough. It's also easy. You would think it'd be easy to chop, though, too. Well, it could be 20 people. It could be 15 people. Can you all, I'll ask this Mike Palm tomorrow. Can you just get everyone on the phone and say, hey, we're all using the same team? Do you trust people, though? That's
No,
a big
absolutely
trick.
not.
Right.
No.
Let's just agree we all pick the same team. And then
Way easier said than done, in my opinion.
Probably, yes.
And you, going back to last week, check that Monday. You're super strong in Seattle tonight, right?
I love Seattle.
Oh, you love Seattle.
Yeah.
I thought that was what you
But
said
it's a
on
little
Monday.
crazy. It's up to 4.5, though.
Oh, yeah?
So, and I'm still worried that they know they're probably unlikely to make the playoffs, though.
Championship weekend fantasy football. Hall of Famer Paul Charchian will give his best advice. What's the strategy if you're in a big hole after yesterday's results?
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We have a lot to discuss with tonight's Thursday night matchup. Seahawks playing at the Bears here on Boxing Day, and we continue with Fantasy Football Hall of Famer Paul Charchian as he is on the progressive guest line. Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba has been smoking hot as of late.
Yeah.
The targets through the to the moon, the receptions, the yards, all great numbers. Like for the past, I think 6-7 weeks overall. Do you think that continues tonight against this Bears defense?
Yeah, top 10 fantasy wide receiver over the last 2 months, Jackson, and he's completely become the focal point of the passing game. And Tyler Lockett's just buried and dead now, and even DK Metcalf taking a backseat to Jackson Smith-Njigba. But I want to just point out a very tough matchup because he hasn't had that many of them, especially lately. He goes up against Kyler Gordon for the Bears. He's their pure slot corner. He's given up 1 touchdown in his coverage all year. I would not bet the Jackson Smith-Njigba touchdown here. Gordon's average game allowed in his coverage, 2 catches for 28 yards. And so this is, I'm starting Jackson Smith-Njigba. He's still, you can't not play him based on that. I'm not saying he won't produce at all, but I am saying this is a tougher than normal matchup, and you might get worse results than what we've seen in the past.
All right. Zach Charbonnet, the last time that he played and Kenneth Walker did not, it was against Arizona, and Charbonnet had a day for the ages, and he was amazing. And he hit like every prop, and he went over alternate numbers, and it was a huge day for him. Yep. Do you think that continues for him tonight with no Walker? He's inactive for the Seahawks.
It's a gigantic game coming. Unfortunately, the odds are all taking that into account. We're not going to catch anybody by surprise here, but and I hate to say this, but Kenneth Walker getting ruled out is great for fantasy because he'd been playing hurt for 6 weeks and we had been, trying to start him and he's been bad. And this clarifies the situation a lot. In the 3 games in which Kenneth Walker has missed, Charbonnet has been awesome, finishing as running back 8, running back 6, and then 2 weeks ago, running back 1 across fantasy football in those weeks. Seattle loves to use Charbonnet at the stripe. He has had goal line carries in every game he started, including 4 goal line carries 2 weeks ago. And that brings into play, you could look at the 2 touchdown prop on Charbonnet. It's only plus 290, which I don't love, but that's still in play here. He could end up with those 2 touchdowns. The Bears run defense bad all year and trending worse lately. Over the last 5 weeks, they've allowed the most fantasy points to opposing runners. And so the Bears run defense has packed it in. Zach Charbonnet is my number 3 ranked running back this week. At a brand name guys you've been starting every week. This is a smash spot tonight. Okay,
so the Bears left guard and left tackle are out. What do you think of the matchup for Williams and Chicago players?
Don't like it. First, just everything's broken in Chicago, but you're missing your left guard and your left tackle. That's the blind side. Caleb Williams can be skittish anyway. He takes a ton of sacks. I see this. I don't like this. His go-to receiver has been Keenan Allen, who's been feasting on easy slot matchups. That's going to dry up here because Seattle's best cornerback is in the slot, Devin Witherspoon. You'll remember him last year. He finished 4th in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. He's only given up 1 touchdown all year. So if Keenan Allen can't get going, I need Williams then under duress from his blind side to, start throwing to other players. So I don't like this Bears offense tonight at all. And so there's a lot of concern here.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Fantasy Football Hall of Famer Paul Charchian here on the Progressive Guest Line. Paulie and I were going back and forth on Monday. When Achane decided to score that touchdown late, it screwed like people who were betting live numbers to the under, right? But I said I think he was maybe doing that for his fantasy owners, right? As like a tip of the cap, like, hey, man, this is for you. What do you think of his prospects this week against the Browns?
Well, he's got one particular angle we can attack. Achane's been a very good receiving back to this point. But we're going to take the under 36.5 receiving yards against Cleveland, and I'm going to explain why. And it's a couple of things. First, he's been under 36.5 receiving yards in half his game, so it would not be unexpected. But Cleveland's amazing in this department. Despite all the disarray that's around the Cleveland Browns, this is the one thing they've been really great at. The Browns rank number 2 in receptions allowed to runners. They rank number 3 in receiving yards allowed to runners. Today's receiving line, 36.5 receiving yards. We're going under again. In the 15 games the Browns have played, 14 of them have had no runner hit this line of 36.5. 14 out of 15.
Wow.
And the one guy who did hit it was way back in week 4. Of the 15 lead backs against the Browns this year, here's their average receiving game. 2 catches for 12.5 yards. Way under this line of 36.5.
Now that is awesome.
Good job. Good job. Walk me through the thought process Saturday night with Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, he's been something weird. I think something weird is happening. Almost baffling. Last week against the Jets, they didn't deploy Cooper Kupp despite the fact that the Jets slot corner Michael Carter missed the game. You would have, against backup cornerback Isaiah Oliver in the past, Sean McVay would have pounded Cooper Kupp with 14 targets. He got 3. The week before that, he didn't have a catch. So Cooper Kupp on this 2-game slide, something's up. I don't like it. And here comes a thornier than you would expect Arizona defense. I would, under a different circumstance, I'd be like, hey, we're going to try to get Cooper Kupp back up and running here. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Cardinals, a sneaky, competent secondary. Over the last 5 games, they rank 8th best in yards allowed to wide receivers. The last 2 games, no receivers top 44 yards against the Cardinals. Cooper Kupp's line, by the way, 50.5 receiving yards. So we're gonna play the under on this. Kupp put up only 37 yards in the earlier matchup with the Cardinals, although he got hurt later in the game. Now, Mitch and Paulie, can we agree? Puka Nacua is the number 1 receiver for the Rams.
Yes.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Against the Cardinals, the number 1 guys get paid. Listen to what the number 2 guys get. Here's what the second best receivers are doing against the Cardinals this year. They are averaging 3.5 catches for 38 yards. Oh. That's it. Of the 15 games Arizona has played, only 3 number 2 receivers have gone over Kupp's line of 50.5 receiving yards. And last thing I'll mention is there's a very long-winded answer. Thank you for your patience. Arizona's best cornerback is their slot cornerback. His name's Garrett Williams. He's giving up a 59% completion rate. And in his coverage, he's giving up per game averages of 2 catches for 19 yards.
That's incredible. That is awesome.
All right. Cooper Kupp under 50.5 receiving yards.
I'll ask you this. How about this rookie who could emerge and help people win leagues this weekend alone? He has a very easy matchup against the Carolina defense. What are your expectations for Bucky Irving?
I love Bucky Irving. He is so good. On talent, he's one of the 5 best running backs in the league. His line is not trivial. It's 78.5, and we're still going over. And it's going to sound like a lot right now, but wait until we start talking about Carolina here. 6 of the past 7 lead runners to face Carolina haven't just gone over the 78.5. They've obliterated that number. Those 6 runners over the last 6 weeks, Alvin Kamara, Tyrone Tracy, Saquon Barkley, Rico Dowdle, James Conner, and Bucky Irving himself averaged 133 rushing yards. And again, this line is 78.5. And Bucky Irving's line in that game when they match up was 152 yards. And Irving is great. I mean, for people who don't realize how good he is, Bucky Irving ranks 3rd in yards per carry. He ranks 3rd in avoided tackle rate, and he ranks 1st by a mile in yards after contact. He's 4.2 yards after contact. And then there's just this as an add-on. Last week, for the first time all year, it was all Bucky Irving for the Buccaneers. Rachaad White and Sean Tucker combined for 3 carries. It's possible that offensive coordinator Liam Cohen has finally decided, well, we've known all year that Bucky Irving is awesome, and they can't keep the committee going. They have to get the ball to Bucky Irving for a team that can't afford to lose any games. So Bucky Irving over 78.5.
30 seconds. Are you surprised the Packers are favored in Minnesota?
I'm not, because the margin of victory, they are crushing their opponents, and the Vikings are squeaking by theirs. So I can see where it feels like the margin of victory is tilted towards the Packers. Vikings haven't beaten a really good team in a very long time. So yeah, I can understand why the betting public's on Packers.
Yeah, and then quickly to follow it up, you like Aaron Jones over 2.5 catches.
I do. This is one of the ways you can attack the Packers. They've really struggled over the past 4 weeks, allowing the most running back receptions and the most running back receiving touchdowns.
Charge,
thank you.
You're the best. You're a Hall of Famer for a reason. We love talking to you. You're taking next week off because it's a dead week, obviously, for fantasy, but you're going to pop back on during the playoffs.
Yeah, we will talk fantasy props all playoffs long. Can't wait.
Excellent. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, friends.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I'd like to bother him, though, if Lions-Vikings is for the 1 seed. But I understand. Take us everywhere you want to go. With the VSiN Watch app, never been easier to stay connected to the action, whether you're on your phone, tablet, or your smart TV. Absolutely free for a limited time with the VSiN Watch app. Replays of your favorite shows streamed directly to your smart TV. Quick access to clips by sport, tailored to your interest. Don't miss out. Get the VSiN Watch app. Stay in the game wherever you are.
Charge just texted me. He said I can't be bothered. We'll get into soccer up next. The Meat Man Steve Wyss joins the program. He'll get best bets for the weekend here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. Let's some college football here. Hardcore next 2 segments as professional sports bettor Brad Powers joins the program. He's on X at BradPower7. Website is bradpowersports.com, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Brad, happy holidays. How was the trip over the weekend to 2 different college football playoff games?
Yeah, it was cold for starters. Obviously, both games, both Notre Dame and Ohio State, was under freezing for the whole game. But you wish you'd had maybe closer games. Although I didn't, I bet both favorites. But it was something I'm glad I did. Rare opportunity to see 2 playoff games in a matter of 2 days. The first playoff games in home stadiums. So for that, I'm happy that I went. But if you'd asked me, hey, you can't wait to go back next year? No, I won't be doing it next year. I can tell you that.
Okay.
How was the flight back? Sounded pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it was certain. You think you'd catch some sleep because an early morning flight back to Vegas, but guy, couldn't handle himself and threatened to kill everybody on the plane, and we had to go down. Emergency landing in Kansas City. So, something I've never experienced. That, I mean. It was interesting to see the FBI come aboard and all that. And knock on wood, I haven't had much travel issues ever, but this trip made up for it with that, having to deplane and then getting delayed. I thought it was going to be really bad though, because obviously it's Christmas. Oh. I thought, hey, am I staying in Kansas City type of thing? But thankfully it was only a few hours.
So emergency landing because of this in Kansas City. And then the FBI's waiting as soon as you land and they come on the plane to get him?
Yeah, the FBI's waiting there to come aboard the plane. I mean, once you say something, and he was, so it's literally the row behind me. I didn't know we were going to get into it, but I can story tell. I'm in I normally fly first class. I wish I'd have done it. The one time I don't for the last 5 years, this happens. It's in the row behind me. There's hardly anybody on the flight, so I got the poor man's white trash first class. Nobody's in the row with me, so I'm kicking back. I think it's going to be a nice flight. And then in the row behind me, it sounds like the gist of it, his girlfriend broke up with him. He just loses it. He says, "I'm nothing without you. I don't care." Started taking off his clothes. Said he was going to kill everybody. Attendants are there. Other people are rushing to get on top of the guy. They take him to the back of the plane. And then there's like 15, 20 minutes where you don't hear anything. So you're thinking, oh, maybe we'll make it to Vegas. And then I have my headphones on. And I could just feel, you know how you feel the plane like slow down. I'm like, oh, we're going to emergency land. And we ended up doing it. I'm glad they did. Once you act like that and say you're going to kill everybody, I mean, it's time you got to get him off the plane.
Yeah. So it didn't end there. Now, who was the individual? How old was the guy then watching porn?
Yeah, he was an older dude. I want to say like 60. And he was sitting. So I did this trip with Todd and a couple guys I do the Bet the Board podcast with. So Todd's sitting across the aisle from me, and he actually could see stuff more. All this, at least he got some visuals. I tried not to, make myself known when this is going on. So I just kept my head down. But I just happened to look up, and this was just, this is after this went on. So keep in mind, there's only like this 15, 20-minute window. I'm like more awake than usual, and I look over to my right, and guy's literally watching porn on his phone
with the volume
like
up
60. And you think, you're on Spirit. This sounds like a Spirit Airlines clientele. No, it's Delta. I've never had a problem with Delta.
And the volume is up.
Volume was not up, but
okay,
I don't know how it wasn't, because this guy was like scrolling through like all kinds of stuff, and randomly like I'd hear like Paul Feinbaum's voice. He was watching some college football, so for some reason the porn wasn't up all the way to the max. But yeah, this guy blatantly watching porn on the plane.
Wow, that's the flight from hell number 2.
Yes. Yeah, hell of a documentary. The first, I'd like to see the documentary on this one. Condolences, my friend.
Wow.
Fly first class.
Here, so
yeah, you're here. You made it.
Hey,
all right.
Okay, so some bowl games here. The latest one, K-State, Rutgers just started. It went through the key number of 7 at many books right before kickoff, right? K-State, I think on the screen, got to 7.5. Were you involved at all in this game?
Believe it or not, I wasn't. Didn't have. I thought Rutgers was the right side, but that was when I thought Kyle Monungai, who's their outstanding running back, was going to play. And then he just announced it. This was, I believe, Christmas Eve. He said he wasn't going to play. He traveled with the team, but that pretty much, squashed me wanting to say that Rutgers was the side here. So no bet. Rare bowl game I didn't have a bet on.
How big is this line move now tomorrow in the Syracuse-Wazoo game? And is it the biggest point spread move that you can ever recall in a bowl game?
It's certainly up there. I'll have to do some research. We've had some big ones, though, here in recent years, obviously. But I don't think it's done moving yet. People have asked me, what's the point of no return? We're not there yet. I mean, if you told me it got to 20, I still wouldn't, Syracuse is the right side, folks. And I said this, we talked a week or so ago, and you probably asked me when it was 13. I was like, we're not done. Keep moving. Washington State, I don't know how they're feeling the team. I don't know how this bowl game is being played. We got 29 players in the portal. We got 13, 14 starters, head coach, OC, DC, multiple assistants, quarterback. The only team similar so far this bowl season was Coastal. Did that line move matter? That moved a touchdown. Didn't matter. They got beat by 30. So that's what we're looking at tomorrow night. I could still only bet Syracuse.
Okay, incredible. How about the game to start the day? Is it too low now? Oklahoma was 10, and now we're seeing 2.5s.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, this is one where I'm not afraid to play against the line move. And at 2.5, I'm going to bet Oklahoma. They've had obviously a ton of transfers and opt-outs. 10 starters for them. 1 total transfer period for Navy, and not a starter. So I get the move, but I don't get it through 3 at this point. Oklahoma still got a majority of their defense. I would hope with a month of prep, with a defensive-oriented coach, the Venables should have something to at least slow this Navy attack down. So Oklahoma minus 2.5 for me.
Couple of games here I'll throw at you at the same time, and it's based on kind of the same question. The Miami-Iowa State game. On paper, if everybody was playing right, I think it would be a terrific game. And the other one would be Colorado against BYU. And the Buffalo's favored here. But how long can we possibly expect somebody like Cam Ward to play for Miami in that game? And how long would you expect Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter to play for Colorado?
Yeah, I'll start with the Miami one. At least I think that's priced in a little bit because I think Miami'd probably be 5 or 6 if everyone was playing and playing the full game. So there's at least a little bit of some shade there. I don't think there's any shade on that one. And Colorado, the expectation is those guys are going to play the whole game. I think there's a greater than 0% chance that those guys don't play a full game, whether it's Cam Ward of Miami or Shedeur and Travis at Colorado. The one game I am involved in is BYU. I like BYU, and it's probably one of my favorite bets left on the board. You just told me everyone was playing. I mean, I would be betting BYU +4. So let's just treat it like everybody's playing. And then on top of it, I have a chance that they don't play the full game. So I like BYU quite a bit there. The other game, I think it's in-game live. I do expect, every time it goes to 3, it goes back up. So that tells me somebody knows that Cam Ward is definitely playing. I don't think he's playing the whole game. I don't think Restrepo, their outstanding wide receiver, is going to play or even play if he does play the whole game. So at 3.5, I can only look towards Iowa State.
So the last time we talked to you, you loved Army, loved them, and said you weren't afraid to lay 20. And then the game was canceled and they have a new opponent. How do you feel about Army Louisiana Tech Saturday night?
So I did end up betting them when that game opened up, the line 14.5. I went ahead and played it. Now, the expectation I had for Louisiana Tech was, hey, they didn't think they were playing in a bowl game for about 10 days. Everybody going home, season's over, there goes the diet and the routine. I thought a lot of people would hit the portal. A lot of guys didn't hit some hit the portal, but not a lot of starters. So they're not as in bad shape as a Marshall. So I agree with the line move up to 17. I can't play. That's what I made it was 17. So pass.
All right. You have a strong opinion on the Missouri-Iowa game?
I don't. At current, I can only look towards Iowa at +3. Obviously, there's been key opt-outs for both. The Iowa, their outstanding running back, by far their best offensive players out. Luther Burden's out for Missouri. I do like Sullivan's going to play a quarterback for Iowa. I do like his mobility, so I'm going to lean Iowa +3.
Brad, anything tonight? Bowling Green and Arkansas State. We talked about this game a little bit earlier to see if we can come up with a best bet for this game. What do you have, if anything at all?
Yeah, Arkansas State for me at current +10. I think Fanta's going to play. I don't know if he'll play the whole game. He's the All-American tight end for BG. They got 3 starters that were all MAC players that have transferred out and are going to power programs. So they'll be missing that. The problem, it's not a best bet for me, is I don't like this Arkansas State team, period. Right. This is a bottom 10 team statistically in yards per play margin. The worst statistical team of any of the bowl teams. So that's why it's just a lean on Arkansas State +10.
All right, follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, professional sports bettor Brad Powers. Again, you can follow him on X. He's at BradPower7. The website is BradPowersports.com. We're going to continue talking with Brad. Coming up next, we'll get his thoughts on, the early numbers that came out for the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. He loved Texas against Clemson. It got there for him. Does he have similar thoughts when they play Arizona State, laying a big number in their next game? We'll ask him next here on VSiN.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-to-1 odds. Nope. 5-to-1. Nope. 10-to-1. You're on.
All right, it's been a while. Let's dance, baby. Commanders, Sunday night against Atlanta. Love them. Laying 4. So the last time we'll mention this one because it won't get graded till probably June, April, May. Man City, to finish in the bottom half of the table, 5-1. Another draw today. Big favorite against Everton. This is getting interesting. They might not finish top of in the table without the penalty and the reduction. That's how bad they don't have one win since October 30th. Okay, all right. That's the pending, then the new. Thursday night football, rather. Couple with Caleb Williams, no interception, $1.10, over 27.5 rushing yards. See if you can find the 26.5 as well. He's gone over that number 4 of the last 5. And the Miami Heat +1 Remember what happened last week? They were up 22 points in the fourth quarter at Orlando, and lost the game. Teams have been 796-0 going back the last 5 years in that spot. Pat Riley comes out, we are not trading Jimmy Butler. I'll take the Miami Heat in a revenge spot. What a job, Mosley. How are they doing this? They're losing guys left and right and still winning games.
Tell me how he's not a great bet to win Coach of the Year.
I know. Well, Atkinson and certainly Udoka. But I know with all these injuries, you come back and say Cleveland at least was a top 4 seed, right, last year?
Well, this guy, three of their best, their two best players out forever.
Yep.
And they were both having awesome seasons. Now another guy goes down for a long time, and you're coming back and beating really good teams, and your head's above water here.
Yep. I recommend Wembanyama most improved. 50-1 if you can find it. That's another one.
All right. Go get him tonight. Recapping the bets that I had over the weekend. Check that. Yesterday on Christmas Day. All messed up here because of midweek holiday. Freiermuth over 20.5. That was a good one. That got there. The next game, bet it twice. Over 225.5. It went down. Don't be a moron. Put more on it. That's what I did. Bet it over 223.5. They both got there. So, this is what we are adding. Tonight, I have a bunch of bets, but a lot of the numbers have moved, so we'll go with this one. Jackson Smith and Jigba, anytime touchdown, plus 180. That's all I have.
All right. Ready to take your tailgate to the next level? Got to try Sewell's Barbecue. Born from a backyard cookout in a mason jar of unforgettable flavor, Sewell's has become a southern favorite, delighting taste buds from Georgia to the Carolinas. From smoky ribs and mouth-watering wings to the perfect backyard burger, Sewell's turns every bite into a flavor-packed experience. Order now, Sewell'sBarbecueSauce.com, Sewell'sBarbecueSauce.com. Flavor this good just a click away. Southern hospitality never tasted so good.
All right, so I do have other bets in the game tonight, but again, I'm not going to, some of them have moved. This is one that I was talking about before the break. Typically, I would be pounding hard for this guy, specifically when we're on the air before a primetime game. We've had a couple of spots like this year, and we were on the air on a Friday when we were waiting for the news on Kenneth Walker, if he was going to play against the Cardinals, and if he wasn't, I'm like, it's going to be all Zach Charbonnet all day long, and it happened to go that way in that game. But the reason why I'm not betting Zach Charbonnet props tonight, like the receiving yards over, because they love to throw to this guy, Geno does anyway, or a combination of the rushing and receiving yards. And I only played kind of a smaller bet on JSN tonight to go over as well when it was 69.5. But this is after the game on Sunday when the Seahawks lost to the Vikings. Geno Smith was asked if the knee injury was behind him. He said, no, it's not. It's going to be there for a while, but I have to keep pushing. So that's why I'm a little hesitant tonight to get nuts with a bunch of different player props or really dive in on the Seahawks, because I'm a little bit afraid if the knee injury goes sideways again, he takes a hit, whatever it is, he can't play. We just saw Sam Howell play as a reminder that the guy is awful. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to have anything tied into a potential Sam Howell spot tonight with player props when I think they would all be dead if anything happens to Geno. So anyway, I'm treading lightly tonight and trying to have some fun while I'm entertained by the game, hopefully, if that makes any sense.
Yep. You'll be entertained. I got some great nuggets on the pregame coming up about the Bears' first quarter. It is horrendous. Look away. Just a tease. They've been outscored 40-0 the last 4 games in the first quarter.
Oh, wow.
Think they got them ready to play?
And that bowl game is over with, by the way.
Right, yeah. What a Mickey Mouse operation. 48-46 Toledo in 6 overtimes.
They get the job done.
So
we missed this play live on the air, but this is the feedback that we're getting. Narduzzi special, I guess, is what just took place. So it was the end of the second overtime. Pittsburgh, they were down by 3 with the ball, 4th and goal at the 1-yard line.
No.
Again, think of this, end of the second overtime.
No, we didn't.
Option A, go for it. You get it, you win. Option B, you kick the field goal, you make it, you go to the stupid 2-point conversion off. And that's exactly what he decided to do.
He kicked an 18-yard field goal in a bowl game?
Rather than go for the win, and he decided, let's play this out. I like my chances going for 2 against their team. That is just so weak, man. How do you justify that to anybody? That is pathetic. I'm glad I didn't have Pitt, because I would be breaking things right now because of that guy.
Oh, my God.
Good. You have a reputation for a reason.
I'm looking at it. I still don't believe it.
And that just made it 10 times worse. It's a meaningless bowl game, man. What are you telling your players, by the way? Who wants to play for that crap? What kid is watching this saying, you know what, I can't wait to transfer there. Give me my NIL money from Pittsburgh.
They're up 10 with 8 minutes, had the ball. They threw 2 pick sixes in the game.
Oh, wow.
How do you kick a field goal there?
You can't do it.
Oh, that's terrible. I can't.
There's no good answer. I don't care what he says. I wanted to take our chances with a coin flip going. What is 4th and 1 at the goal line?
1 yard line.
It's better than they're not going to see the ball again if you score. Game's over, but you want to play the back and forth Mickey Mouse crap that you have?
Oh, man. Look at this now. Touchdown Rutgers. 24-17.
Well,
still 4 minutes till halftime.
Wow. Okay. So, that move from 6.5 to 7.5 here on game day. In fact, what was it, maybe an hour before kickoff when it went through that key number?
Ooh.
And Kansas State kept taking money?
What's that total now? Holy cow. Man.
What do you want to do with any of these other bowl games?
Well, let me ask you this. Are you, now, you see what's happened, what's transpired earlier. Now, bookmakers are, the in-play total 73.5. How about the run with the chalk here? And if you're scared off by that, or maybe, both favorites were on an 11-2-1 run. NFL favorites, 13-5 run last 18 with these primetime games. It's 24-7-1. I mean, it goes back to what we watched with the college playoffs and then the Saturday NFL games, and then it continued on Christmas.
Yeah.
Like the books, like one bookmaker told you, I can't wait for the season to end. This is nuts what's going on.
Again, that's
Chalk City.
It's one I'd like to make the case for Chicago tonight. Plenty of reasons why. But, I mean, it's...
These standalone primetime games, Chalks have been getting it done.
Right. I'm going to hate myself if I sit there and say, the number's gotten out of control. It's 5. I got to take the Bears. And they come out tonight, and the defense just completely quit. You know, the comments, again, are awful coming out of that team. And the play has been worse on the field going back several weeks now. And if the Seahawks have them dead and buried at halftime, that's not fun. I was actually thinking about making the Bears a contest play. No way, no how can I do that? It's 3.5 and 1 in the contest.
Yeah.
So that's changed things too.
Mm-hmm.
I like a league when the dogs are barking.
Well, home dogs, all-time bad.
Yeah, that's right.
You know? So get it done. I don't have a problem with Richardson doesn't play Sunday and he's nicked up. It's like, okay, well, with the Giants, that product they're putting out there, doing all the things to lose. It's every which way but loose. Survivor, teaser, straight bets on the Colts. And who knows? Maybe they get some life after what happens Saturday with the games. I can't see the Chargers laying 4. The Chargers can't beat the Patriots. Winning in, Harbaugh, extra rest, Harbaugh against Mayo? Come on.
Well, I mean, the Patriots almost beat Buffalo last week.
Yeah. Buffalo was sleepwalking, I know.
What do you think of May? I like May.
He's good. I don't think we should overdo it, though.
No, I think May can play.
Yeah. I'd like to see him with some weapons.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't have much to work with, and he's getting it done. No doubt. But that Saturday triple header is intriguing.
Again, based on what we saw yesterday, again, and the numbers that Netflix put out there, we're going to have NFL Christmas games forever, and they might go to a full-time triple header.
Think about how...
NBA players are not happy, but...
Oh, I know. Well, LeBron said it, too. I know. That's, right. But how much time and money do you think Beyonce put into that? The choreography?
What would they pay her? Do you know that number?
I don't know, but imagine. I don't know.
I guess...
Throw me any number.
I guess $20 million. My wife, Lorraine, laughed at me.
Too low?
Way too low, she said.
Get out.
That's...
Well, it's $21 for a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Who knows?